In this section, we're going to be talking about rules for AI. So Cursor has kind of two types of rules that it uses these days, which it separates into two buckets: user rules, which is going to be the focus of this lesson, and project rules, which will be the focus of the next lesson. So the way that those two vary is very much in the name of the rules, which is that user rules are going to apply to you as a user. This is going to apply to all of the different chats, composer sessions, command K sessions, everything that you use in Cursor for all of the different code bases that you work on is going to be determined by this little prompt that you can type into user rules. So I'm going to show you a quick little example of this. We'll have this below. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste these rules into the box again. The rules that you're going to see here are below the video for this lesson. These rules are very, very popular common starting rules. These actually got popularized because these were some of the rules that some of the early Cursor team were using in their own Cursor experience. So the reason that this set of rules is really good for user rules as opposed to project rules is this is going to be very much the kind of thing that I want between every single kind of project, right? So maybe you have, let's say you have 2 or 3 different code bases, and maybe one is a Python project, one is an iOS app, maybe you're making a mobile app, and let's say the third is like a full stack web app that you might see, like the tech stack that we use here on Takeoff, right? All 3 of those projects are probably going to need different rules, right? Which makes sense because, you know, a mobile app is going to differ from like a data science-y Python project or something, and that's going to differ from a web project, right? The tech stack you're going to be using is going to be different, right? The docs that you reference are going to be different. So the way that you write code, right, even down to the differences in programming languages are going to be different. User rules are the complete opposite, right? User rules are going to be, how do you want the AI to talk to you, right? Like one of the things you'll see here is very common rule is be as concise as possible, right? Instead of having the AI just kind of rant on and on and on, you can kind of tell it, hey, just kind of get to the point, right? You'll even see the never apologize here. Sometimes certain AI models will like apologize for getting things wrong, or you know, maybe they'll do like too many greetings, and you just kind of want them to get right to the point, right? That's where you're kind of guiding the model here, right? So user rules are very style based. Like one of the things that you can do that I recommend for beginners sometimes is like if you know you're new to coding or something, you could do a rule in here that's like you know, hey, I'm a beginner. Please write a lot of comments and teach me how to code as we generate stuff, right? That's a good example of a user rule because that's something that is going to apply very specifically to you and across all your different projects, regardless of what you're working on. You probably want that to be consistent, right? So this is often going to be stuff that is the kind of rules that you want to be applied to different projects. It's going to be very personalized and stylistic to you, right? This is going to be the kind of stuff that you don't want every single person on your team to have access to these same rules, right? This is going to be very, very individualized to you. So that's just kind of how I would think about it. This surprisingly gets like confusing to people, which again, it always kind of surprises me because I feel like user rules and project rules are like pretty differentiated, even just in the names there. But just gonna kind of be a little bit insistent there that, again, think of user rules as very personalized to you. Don't put like programming language rules in here, right? You want the programming language that you're using to be in the project rule because it could differ from project to project. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, this always surprises me that this is like a little bit of a stumbling block for people sometimes, but user rules apply to all projects. Project rules will apply to specific projects. So let's talk a little bit more about project rules and how those are implemented inside of Cursor.